Hello. General Hospital will reveal the unexpected announcement of James Patrick Stewart's return to All My Children has sent waves of excitement through the soap opera community, igniting a flurry of emotion and nostalgia among longtime fans. On his personal social media page, the beloved actor confirmed what many had only dared to hope for over the past few months, that he would officially be reprising his role in the iconic daytime drama that once defined an era of American television. With a simple yet powerful message, Stewart breathed life back into the hearts of millions who grew up with Pine Valley, calling all my children home once more. Some places never really leave you, Stewart wrote in a heartfelt caption, alongside a throwback photo of himself on the original All My Children set. Will Cortland was the role that introduced me to this incredible world of storytelling, and I can't tell you how surreal and meaningful it is to be stepping back into those shoes. Pine Valley lives. Within minutes, fans across generations flooded the comments, sharing their memories and expressing their overwhelming joy. The show, which originally aired from 1970 until its cancellation in 2011, holds a special place in soap opera history. For many, it wasn't just a TV show, it was a daily ritual, a community, a thread of emotional connection woven through decades of love, betrayal, loss, and triumph. While rumors of the show's revival had circulated for months, no official statement had surfaced until Stewart's revelation. His confirmation has now turned speculation into reality. All My Children is indeed returning, and its heart beats strong. What makes this return even more compelling is the layered narrative unfolding behind the scenes of General Hospital, where Stewart has portrayed the enigmatic Valentine since 2016. Known for his complexity, both charming and dangerous, deeply wounded yet calculating, Valentine quickly became a fan favorite in Port Charles. However, in recent weeks, Valentine's storyline has taken a dark and ominous turn. Evidence has surfaced implicating him in criminal activity, and in a dramatic twist, the PCPD has taken him into custody. With prison looming and allies distancing themselves, the curtain seems to be falling on Valentine's reign. Backstage whispers confirm that the showrunners are preparing for his exit. Sources close to the production suggest that while Valentine's arrest appears to mark his end, in General Hospital tradition, no exit is ever truly final. Characters in Port Charles have a remarkable tendency to rise from the dead, escape from prison, or return under a new identity. Still, Stewart's imminent departure from the show feels bittersweet for loyal GH viewers. Valentine was a challenge and a joy, Stewart later shared in a follow-up video to his fans. He was never black and white, never predictable. That made him real to me. But sometimes, to grow, we have to walk away from what's comfortable. For now, his story pauses, but who's to say if it's over? This is General Hospital, after all. Stewart's deliberate choice of words, his story pauses, has not gone unnoticed by fans and analysts alike, many of whom believe that the door for Valentine's return remains ajar. Meanwhile, Stewart's re-entry into All My Children opens up a Pandora's box of possibilities. His original character, Will Cortland, was killed off in 1992 in a shocking murder storyline. However, soap opera deaths are rarely permanent. With All My Children being rebooted, speculation runs rampant. Is Will alive after all? Or is Stewart returning as a new character with ties to Will's past? More intriguingly, recent episodes of General Hospital may have planted the seeds for a deeper crossover. In a blink-and-you'll-miss-it moment, Valentine was seen holding a forged passport bearing the name Will Cortland, while Charlotte, his on-screen daughter, carried documents under the name Melanie Cortland. For sharp-eyed viewers, this was more than just an Easter egg. It was a signal. A narrative breadcrumb leading from Port Charles directly back to Pine Valley. With ABC now fully owning the rights to All My Children once again, and with the creative teams free to integrate characters and storylines across their soap universe, the idea of Valentine hiding out in Pine Valley under his old alias suddenly doesn't seem so far-fetched. Could it be that Valentine and Will were always one and the same? Or perhaps Valentine once assumed Will's identity during his shadowy past with the WSB? Theories abound. In the midst of this whirlwind, one thing is certain: James Patrick Stewart's return to All My Children is more than just a casting announcement. It is a tribute to the genre, to its enduring fans, and to the power of character-driven storytelling. It's a revival of a world that many thought was lost to time, and it's led by an actor who has become one of daytime's most versatile and magnetic performers. "I've lived many lives through these characters," Stewart reflected during an impromptu Instagram Live. "And to be honest, I never thought I'd walk through the doors of Pine Valley again. But here we are. And I promise, we're going to make it worth the wait." With Stewart leading the charge and Pine Valley rising from the ashes, soap opera lovers everywhere are ready to return to the secrets, the scandals, and the soul of a show that shaped generations. And while Valentine's fate in Port Charles may remain uncertain for now, a new chapter awaits in All My Children, and James Patrick Stewart stands ready to write it. One particularly thrilling Easter egg hidden within a recent episode of General Hospital sent longtime All My Children fans into a nostalgic frenzy: the discovery that Valentine's forged passport bore the name Will Cortland, while his daughter Charlotte's documents listed her as Melanie Cortland. For those deeply familiar with the lore of AMC, this subtle detail was more than just a playful nod. It was a heartfelt tribute to one of the most iconic and chilling storylines in Pine Valley history. With that simple choice of alias, the writers of GH bridged two legendary soap operas and reignited a wave of emotion in viewers who still remember the scandalous fate of the Cortland family. To understand the weight of this moment, one must recall that James Patrick Stewart's very first daytime role was none other than the scheming and deeply troubled Will Cortland, the older brother of the beloved Dixie Cooney. Airing from 1989 to 1992, with a brief return in 1994, Will was a classic soap opera villain, manipulative, violent, and ultimately doomed. His storyline remains one of the most shocking in All My Children history, culminating in his brutal death at the hands of Janet, from another planet, Green. In a scene that haunted viewers for years, Janet struck Will in the head with a crowbar, ending his reign of terror in a moment that still stands as one of the soap's most unforgettable climaxes. And then there was Melanie, or Lainey, as some fans affectionately recall her. Portrayed by Paige Turco, Melanie Cortland was the younger sister of both Will and Dixie. Her character was quietly written off when she left Pine Valley for France, a departure that, while far less dramatic than her brothers, nevertheless left an impact on viewers who had grown fond of the family's tangled dynamics. For years, the Cortland siblings have lived on in fans' memories, even as All My Children itself faded from the screen. So when General Hospital chose to resurrect those names, Will and Melanie Cortland, for a forged passport and an assumed identity, it wasn't a throwaway gag. It was a lovingly placed breadcrumb, one meant to honor the past and reward dedicated fans who have followed these actors and characters across decades and networks. It was also a brilliant piece of meta-narrative, blurring the lines between actor and role, fiction and memory. This sly reference did more than just raise eyebrows, it sparked speculation. Was it merely an inside joke, or a carefully placed clue pointing to deeper connections between the universes of GH and AMC? Could Valentine, a man of many secrets and shifting identities, have once assumed the persona of Will Cortland during his shadowy past as a WSB operative? Was the use of Melanie not just homage, but foreshadowing? Theories have blossomed across fan forums and social media, with some even suggesting that General Hospital may be laying the groundwork for a larger crossover, one that could further unify the soap opera multiverse now that ABC has regained full rights to All My Children. Whether it was pure nostalgia or an intentional narrative setup, the Cortland passport moment struck an emotional chord. For those who remember Pine Valley's golden era, it was a wink to the past and a whisper of what might be next. For newer viewers, it was a curious detail begging to be explored, and perhaps an invitation to dive into the rich history of the soap universe. Either way, one thing is clear: with just a few cleverly chosen names, General Hospital reminded its audience of a time when daytime drama was at its most daring, most dangerous, and most deliciously unpredictable. However, what makes the reuse of the name Will Cortland particularly compelling is that it may not merely be a humorous Easter egg or a nostalgic wink to longtime fans. In light of recent developments on General Hospital, many are beginning to speculate that the connection between the two characters, Will and Valentine, may run deeper than the simple fact that they are portrayed by the same actor, James Patrick Stewart. A fascinating theory has emerged within the soap opera community, one that proposes Valentine Cassidy may have once lived under the alias of Will Cortland during a shadowy period of his life, long before he re-emerged in Port Charles. According to this theory, the timeline would align with Valentine's mysterious years in hiding, when he was still a physically deformed, tormented operative trained by the World Security Bureau, WSB. This was a time before he underwent life-altering surgery that transformed his appearance and allowed him to re-enter the world with a new face, a new identity, and a thirst for revenge, particularly against the Cassidines and Helena. The idea is that Valentine, then a fugitive of sorts and still operating in the shadows, found refuge in Pine Valley under the name of Will Cortland, perhaps even assuming the identity of the original Will or fabricating a new one in his likeness to blend in. If this theory were to be confirmed within the canon of either show, it would be nothing short of revolutionary. It would suggest that Will Cortland never truly died in 1992 as All My Children had depicted, or that someone used the name and legacy of Will as a strategic cover. Either way, it would merge the mythologies of General Hospital and All My Children in a way that had never been fully explored before, officially establishing a shared soap universe with deeper roots than anyone imagined. The implications are massive. For one, it would offer a concrete narrative bridge between Pine Valley and Port Charles, two fictional towns that have existed in parallel for decades but have rarely crossed paths in any meaningful way. It would also allow the writers to bring back other dormant characters from AMC, reintegrating them into the modern soap opera landscape through this new interwoven continuity. Characters like Dixie, Brooke, or even the long-lost Melanie Cortland could find new life and purpose, reintroduced through Valentine's, or rather, Will's, connection to their world. Moreover, the idea of Valentine having once posed as Will opens the door to exploring the psychological complexities of the character. Valentine has always been a man haunted by his past, burdened with guilt, rejection, and the consequences of the choices he made in pursuit of power, love, and validation. If he truly did adopt the persona of Will Cortland, a man known for his dark, violent nature, what does that say about Valentine's internal battles during that period? Was it a mask he wore out of necessity, or did he allow the shadows of Will's persona to consume him in his isolation? Could this hidden chapter explain some of the coldness, ruthlessness, and emotional volatility that have defined him since arriving in Port Charles? Some fans have also begun to question the death of Will Cortland itself. As every veteran soap viewer knows, death is rarely permanent in this genre. Bodies disappear. Evidence is manipulated. Truths are buried. If Valentine assumed Will's identity after his supposed death, could it be that someone, perhaps even the WSB, faked Will's demise to create the perfect cover? Alternatively, could Valentine have been the one who replaced Will entirely, using his status as a presumed dead Cortland to slip into society unnoticed? This theory isn't just fanfiction fantasy. It aligns with GH's recent choice to include the names, Will and Melanie Cortland, on forged travel documents. It reflects the writer's increasing willingness to blur the lines between shows now that ABC has regained the rights to All My Children. And it fits with the long-standing tradition of soap operas reinventing their own history to fuel fresh drama, emotional revelations, and explosive secrets. In many ways, this potential twist represents the best of what the genre can offer, high-stakes storytelling that's deeply rooted in character, history, and legacy. It respects the past while breathing new life into it. It rewards loyal viewers while inviting new ones to discover the rich tapestry of interconnected narratives. And above all, it transforms what seemed like a small detail, a name on a passport, into the beginning of something much, much larger. For longtime ABC viewers, this is a rare and emotionally powerful moment, a convergence of nostalgia and the present, where the cherished memories of yesteryear collide beautifully with the promise of a revived future. Fans who have followed the network's storied daytime dramas for decades are now bearing witness to a full-circle moment, one that stirs both bittersweet emotions and hopeful anticipation. While many express a deep sense of loss at the departure of Valentine Cassadine, a richly layered and complex character who has captivated audiences on General Hospital since 2016, there is an undeniable thrill in knowing that James Patrick Stewart is returning to the role that first defined his career and captured hearts in All My Children. The love for All My Children has never waned, not in the hearts of its fans, not in the legacy it has left behind, and certainly not in the fabric of ABC's daytime storytelling. The confirmation of the show's revival is more than just another reboot announcement, it is a cultural milestone, a testament to the enduring power and emotional depth of American soap operas. With James Patrick Stewart leading the way, Pine Valley is set to come alive again, not as a relic of the past, but as a breathing, evolving drama, ready to compete with and even surpass many of today's television offerings in passion, intrigue, and dramatic weight. Stewart's return doesn't just signal the rebirth of a show, it elevates the entire soap opera genre. As an actor, he has grown immeasurably since his days as Will Cortlandt, gaining critical acclaim and fan devotion for his nuanced portrayal of Valentine, a man torn between darkness and redemption. Now, returning to the role that launched his soap legacy, he brings with him a lifetime of experience, an enriched presence, and a rare duality, being both the ghost of AMC's past and the promise of its new future. And yet, lingering just beneath the surface is a mystery that fans are desperate to unravel. Did Will Cortlandt really die in 1992 as the storyline had us believe, or was it all an elaborate deception, a staged death, a WSB cover-up, or a desperate escape? Could Will, thought to have been murdered in one of AMC's most shocking storylines, have gone underground, only to re-emerge years later in Port Charles under a new name and identity? And if that man was Valentine Cassadine, what secrets has he carried all these years? These questions now pulse at the heart of both shows. If the theory that Valentine once lived as Will Cortlandt proves true, then the return of All My Children won't just be a nostalgic revival, it will be the setting for one of daytime television's most ambitious crossovers. The return of James Patrick Stewart would no longer be just about honoring the past, it would be about rewriting it, weaving together timelines, reshaping destinies, and reconciling the broken, buried pieces of a shared universe. What other characters might be drawn back in by this reveal? Will Dixie Cooney, Will's sister, return to confront the man who may or may not be her long-lost brother? Will Melanie Cortlandt, who vanished to France, reappear with her own truths to share? Could Pine Valley's foundations tremble once more as the sins of the past resurface under a new light? In a television landscape often dominated by fast-paced streaming content and limited series, the revival of All My Children, with a veteran like Stewart at its helm, reminds us that soap operas still hold unmatched potential for long-form, emotionally rich storytelling. It's a genre where characters grow older, return from the dead, shift allegiances, change identities, and fall in and out of love over the course of years, even decades. And no one embodies that unique blend of continuity and evolution better than James Patrick Stewart. So now, as fans brace for the official return of All My Children, all eyes are on him, not just as the man who once brought Will Cortlandt to life, not just as the mysterious and tormented Valentine Cassadine, but as the living bridge between two soap opera worlds. He is more than an actor reprising a role, he is the keeper of secrets, the bearer of legacy, and the symbol of the genre's eternal flame. Whether he returns as Will, Valentine, or someone entirely new, James Patrick Stewart's presence ensures one thing: the world of Pine Valley is not just coming back, it's coming back with purpose, mystery, and a heart that beats stronger than ever.